The Poconos are home to a trio of indoor water parks, and the best of the bunch is Aquatopia. Located at the Camelback Resort, Aquatopia is one of the best indoor water parks I've ever experienced between the wonderful atmosphere and strong slide lineup. Find out why this park is so good in this review. Camelback Resort opened an outdoor water park back in 1998. This was a great option in the summer months, but the Pennsylvania winters made this a seasonal park. After seeing the success of year-round indoor water parks, particularly the nearby Great Wolf Lodge in the Poconos, Camelback wanted their own. In 2015, Camelback Resort opened the Camelback Lodge for $163 million. This 8-story hotel included a bevy of family-friendly amenities, most notably the Aquatopia Indoor Water Park. Aquatopia opened as the largest indoor water park in the Northeast, with 125,000 square feet of pools and slides. One of the biggest issues with indoor water parks is that they often have poor lighting and look dark. Aquatopia does not have this issue. In fact, its appearance is one of the biggest strengths. You have this giant sunroof that lets in tons of natural light. This gives the park a bright appearance, which accentuates the colorful mess of slides. Once the sun sets, the roof is adorned with twinkling multicolored lights, which looks different but equally as cool. This water park also has some light theming. Themed around the worldwide adventures of explorer Cartridge Quest, each attraction has storyboards explaining the adventures. For example, the wave pool is themed to the Arctic. Then the Lost River Lazy River and the Venus Slide Trap water slide are set in the jungle. The amount of effort that went into making this water park look good blew me away. And like most indoor water parks, this one is kept at a balmy 84 degrees, and there's heated water too, which means you'll be comfortable year-round. The other thing that helps the atmosphere is the staff. Half the staff members really went above and beyond to socialize and interact with guests. Now let's talk about the arrival experience. This hotel is perched atop a hill, and you can see the slides poking out of the lodge as you approach it. It looks really nice. Once you approach the parking lot, where you go depends if you're a resort guest or not. Resort guests have a few lots in the front of the hotel near the entrance. Non-resort guests visiting just for the water park must park on the far side of the building, closer to the water slides. Both visitors need to pay to park. Lodge guests need to pay $25 per night. Those visiting for just the day must pay $12. The latter pay electronically using their phone, and there are multiple signs in the lot explaining how to do this. Once inside, resort guests check in and pick up their included Aquatopia wristbands at the front desk. These are good throughout the duration of their stay, even on check-in and check-out days. Those visiting for the day can usually proceed down the stairs to the Aquatopia entrance to get their wristband. But if you arrive later in the day, you may need to go to the front desk as well. Rates for the lodge start at $200 to $500 per night, depending on the day and time of season. Day passes cost between $69 and $99, depending on the expected crowd levels. Busy weekends will understandably cost more. Now let's compare those prices to the other Pocono water parks. Great Wolf Lodge costs $50 to $95 per day, and they offer a 20% discount if you arrive after 4 p.m. The Kalahari costs $60 all the way up to $130 per day, and they offer an $8 discount if you arrive after 4 p.m. I think Aquatopia is the best overall value between the cost and slide lineup. The final fee you'll encounter is for a locker, if needed. These cost $10 to $20 depending upon the size. I was surprised how few lockers were available, so I'm not sure if that's an issue on busier days. But one thing you don't need to pack is a towel. The park offers those for free. I visited on a weekday before peak season, so the park was fairly quiet. I was pleasantly surprised every single slide was fully staffed and available, especially after my experience at the nearby Kalahari Resort, where half the slides routinely are closed on off-peak days. Every single slide was a walk-on. Typically, these indoor water parks attached to hotels intentionally limit capacity so slides have minimal waits. Aquatopia appears to have a much higher attendance threshold, as they even offer season passes. From reviews I've seen online, this place can get lines on busier days. Some indoor water parks offer a reduced slide lineup compared to their outdoor counterparts, but Aquatopia has a great slide lineup for any water park. There is a balanced collection of tube, body, and mat slides covering all thrill levels. I believe most of the slides here were produced by Whitewater West. All the slides are positioned in the back half of the park. There are 3 slide towers. The biggest one in the back leads to 6 different water slides, and I think more are under construction. The line branches off at a few points depending upon which slide you want to experience, which I could see being confusing on a busier day. There's a duo of trapdoor slides accessed by a single tall spiral staircase. Then there's the water play structure named Cartridge Quest with a few more body slides. The latter has all the usual water features like dump buckets and sprayers as well, and the slides aren't too extreme. They are smooth, and one of the unique ones is the Lava Luge bowl slide. This is a toned down body bowl slide. Rather than dumping guests into a deep splashdown pool at the end, you just stop and you climb out of a staircase in the center of the attraction. I personally prefer the more extreme version, but this is more accessible since you do not need to swim. You have a quartet of tube slides here. The most unique of the bunch is Storm Chaser, which is the water coaster. This slide features 4 drops and 4 water-powered uphill ascents. The first drop always gives a little pop of airtime, and the third can if you have enough weight. This is a rare water coaster that allows single riders, but you will travel significantly slower than the double riders. I almost stalled out on the first few turns until I found a riding buddy. While this water coaster doesn't hold its speed as well as others, it does deliver a satisfying ride experience better than most water slides. My favorite attraction here was the Venus Slide Trap. This tube slide requires at least 3 people, and it is a wild experience. You start with a miniature funnel before being dumped into a picturesque Venus flytrap half-pipe. You have some good speed into the steep drop, so it delivers some surprising airtime. Then the half-pipe section and the few final turns can throw you about the raft. This ride had more power than I expected. Mountain Mayhem is a flashy tube slide. You select one of 4 themes before starting the ride. This changes the music and visuals for your descent, as you pass through multicolored rings and water screens. It was a neat concept that elevated the otherwise tame slide. Constrictor is one of those slides with those tight helixes. Those delivered the usual speed and force, but the rest of the slide was extremely slow, which disrupted the pacing. Daredevils will be drawn to the 2 trapdoor slides in Skydive Plummet and Paradise Plunge. These 2 slides stand 60 feet or 18 meters tall. Both load guests into a capsule whose floor suddenly drops out. The release angle isn't as steep as others, so I found Paradise Plunge, which is the one that went straight down, not as wild as others. But I loved Skydive Plummet. The initial plunge had the usual zip, followed by a fast and moderately forceful flatline turn. And these slides are reasonably smooth on your back as well. Another solid body slide is Out of Space Race. This one didn't have any real drops, but had really nice speed and some zippy turns. The final major slide is the Himalayan. This is a rare non-racing mat slide. It was slower than I would have liked, but you pass through all these cool illuminated rings. Another popular attraction here is the Bombora Flow Rider. I'm awful at these attractions, but I saw plenty of people masterfully executing barrel rolls in the surfing simulator. If you want to relax, you have some pools, including a surprisingly large wave pool for an indoor water park, plus the Lost River Lazy River. Most of the slides are accessible for those over 42 inches tall, but for the littlest of guests, there is a small penguin-themed play area, plus some activity lagoons. As for how much time you'll need, I think it depends on the crowd levels. If the park is busy, I could see this park needing 4 hours. With light crowds, you can easily experience all the slides in half that time. But if you're like me, you'll want to stay longer than that. I really like this water park, and it has long hours too, as it's typically open until 9 p.m. So do I recommend Aquatopia? If you love water parks, absolutely. This is one of the best indoor water parks I've experienced, and it is easily the best water park in the Poconos. Between the top-notch appearance, ride availability, and ride quality, I was thoroughly impressed by Aquatopia. If I'm ever looking for something to do before visiting one of the East Pennsylvania theme parks or afterwards, Aquatopia will be very high on my list. The only negative for me is the high price point, but that's a commonality for most indoor water parks. So those are my thoughts on Aquatopia. What are your thoughts on this awesome indoor water park at the Camelback Lodge? Have you been there? What is your favorite water park in the Poconos? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.